Greetings, fellow targeted individuals. Here in a moment, I'm going to share with guys on here watching my live stream something which I wasn't going to share. I'm going to edit out, I would say, more than 90% of it to protect one cop. I'm not against cops, but it has some viewers which are furious about my targeting, and I want to protect what I perceive as being a good law enforcement officer, which I believe is not being treated right. They're trying to put this on her. So she called a cop to do the police report, and the cop left no information at all. Okay, now recently I went to the local police, and they're stating that I didn't want to say much. But is that really true? Because I have two videos here, and each of these videos are 5 minutes. The first one, I spoke to his mother, which is a cop there, which contacted him so that way he could do the report. And I went there to share with him this tag. I told him that I was having strange encounters and I felt like I was being harassed. And I was. It had been happening in that area quite a bit. So I hand him my phone and he utilizes his body camera. I'll have to actually use one of these programs to enhance the sound, to boost the sound. But he says that he's going to use his body camera and take a picture. So I hand him my phone.
That I'm just, fighting.
You see?
I'm not doing anything wrong. I got my cell phone on high location. That I'm just,
There's my phone. He's getting it back.
I'm not doing anything wrong. I got my cell phone on high location. I'm not hiding nothing. What do you look like? He looked like he was probably in his late 40s, brown hair, and it just seems suspicious. I don't know if he's faking like the incident.
So I'm just going to skip and go towards the end.
A lot of information, like it's no big deal. I just like to play it safe because you never know. It's your mom.
Hold on a second.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You get to work with your mom.
And then she says, no, I'm his grandmother. So, really sweet lady. So I'm not going to share the video from her. We talked for 5 minutes, and I told him I really didn't want to give my address. I had no problem giving my name if they would have asked me. But the last time I did that, I got a 1-sentence report. So, hold on 1 second. Let me see the officer's name. It was received by Turk C104, and the person that had done the report, that had was called in, was RAPPOPORT number 227. So I'm going to share also the state attorney's visit, because I had went there because I had been experiencing harassment prior. So bear with me 1 moment. Let me see if I can find it. Let me go to my YouTube. Bear with me 1 moment. I apologize. I didn't plan to make this video. I'm not even prepared for it. But I have a video. Let me see if it's up here. Nope. Well, anyways, I have a video somewhere, and it shows how I get back to my car, and there's a Barbie doll. Okay, here's the Barbie doll with no head. I was looking for this video, and I had just got back from a hike, and when I got there, there was no car there. But I noticed something odd. I noticed a guy that drove, as I went walking, he drove and he parked nearby my vehicle. And when he took off, it was so much noise. And then he comes back as I'm walking, and then he takes off again. He takes off really, really fast. So he had to have been the person, I'm assuming. So I'm assuming that the person that did this wanted to make sure they wouldn't get caught, and they wanted to send a message to me. And later on that day, I had an encounter in Mount Dora, Florida. I should add the video underneath, like, should add a link to it underneath this video so people can actually see what happened. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I'm going to share the video where I go to the state attorney's office right after talking to police. The next day, I get the report. Actually, I got the report, I think it was two or 3 days later. Get the report, go to the state attorney's office, and the state attorney, when I went there, they asked to see, evidence. So the lady at the front desk, she was like, "Do you have any evidence?" I was like, "Yes, I've been harassed. Here's a video." I also shared it with the deputy that I talked to. He went back and talked to the state attorney, told me I needed to go to the sheriff's office. But I'm wondering, why would I go to the sheriff's office if I'm telling you that police aren't filing proper reports, and that in the past, when I first moved here, I was being harassed by members of a sheriff's association. So it doesn't make any sense. I'm asking for their help so I can bypass going through that. So here's the video. I'm going to add it right now. Okay, so this video, which I'm about to share concerning my visit to the state attorney's office, or the county attorney's office, is very interesting because when I talk to the guy, he tells me we investigate crimes involving like harassment and stuff like that, and he would talk to the state attorney. Then when he comes out, he tells me I need to go to the sheriff. Well, check this out. If I'm recording a cop and I'm recording someone not properly filing a report, not investigating, not adding the tag that I mentioned, well, that's an incomplete report, right? So if someone's saying, hey, they feel something suspicious is going on, and they don't provide that tag to that report, then what they're doing is concealing something. That's how I see it. So that's why I don't go to police. And what's really interesting is that while when I talk to this deputy, another guy comes out with a gun and he's doing this, pacing back and forth in this front of this lobby. So he is looking pissed. He was trying to intimidate me so I would leave. I was polite, I was courteous. I shared a picture of a Barbie doll, a male Barbie doll with blood, the word spick on it. I'm thinking, wouldn't you be on my side? But instead, I was intimidated. The guy was trying to intimidate me. Not the deputy that was trying to help me, but another guy that came out. So the state attorney or the county attorney there must have told him to come out and try to run me out of there. So that way they would not have to do their job and investigate. You know why? Because when you sue the police, the people that are going to protect the police in court, that are going to represent their constitutional rights, not yours, are going to be, it's going to be your county attorney or state attorney is going to represent the cops. My issue wasn't so much the cops, it was trying to get victims compensation so I can just pick up and leave.
Yes, sir. Okay. No, yes, on the other side. So he parks on the grass, goes over there, and he's looking intensely at me. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm biking, you get that, feel like someone's looking at you. So I glance over and he's honking his horn. So I was very polite. I said, sir, do I know you? And he was like, no. And I just found it weird. I just figured maybe I should just share it, or maybe if I share his tag number. That way if I have another encounter with him, because he just seemed very unusual. Did he say anything else to you? He didn't say anything like that, nothing else to me. But I just found it to be highly unusual, considering that
Now he's talking about putting his body camera on.
Yeah, but I'm just,
I'm handing him the phone.
I'm not doing anything wrong. I got my cell phone on high location. I'm not hiding nothing. What do you look like? He looked like he was probably in his.
So just want to make sure that part is in there. Now, there are programs which will boost the volume It's late, so I don't feel like doing it now, but he clearly says he's going to take a picture of it with his body camera. So I give him the phone. He takes a picture of it with his body camera. That information is not added onto this report. When I went to get this police report, the woman that had called the cop looked at it, and her eyes got huge, and she went to look for someone, and she was like, "Oh, forget it. Here, you're already here." I guess there was no one around. She was shocked when she seen this report because we had talked for about, I think it was around like 6-7 minutes, but I only recorded like 5 minutes of the conversation. And I had told her that I had a problem with the neighbor, that the neighbor, they confronted me, they were all wearing blue shirts, and he told me they do community policing. And the guy was concerned about his kid's safety, and she was like, "Well, have you looked at any of these kids?" I'm like, "No, I just bike and keep going." I told her I've experienced this state by state. So I told her that pretty much being targeted. So we talked for quite a while. I told her I can't figure out why this is occurring, and why I've been harassed by veterans. So, anyways, that's it. Talked to a guy here that handles victim services, and I told him I have a link with evidence of pretty much unethical activities by police by not filing a police report properly, leaving it blank, and that I wouldn't be helped unless they seen what I had, that I had video evidence, that I talked to police, and it's on my camera watch, so that way I can get helped. So let's see what they say. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm wanting to share the proof with the state attorney's office here. Okay, now I'm at the state attorney's office. I'm trying to access victims' compensation. I'm going to share this link here with a deputy here that works with the state attorney, and they don't want me to share this link. They want to just base their activities, how they help me, off a police report, which is blank. So I told them that's not going to help me, and I have video evidence they're not entering what I'm sharing on the police report. So this is going to be interesting because the guy's face turned red when I mentioned that I wanted to share a link, and he's like, "Oh."
So I talked to our investigation division. So what typically for law enforcement misconduct that's handled by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Okay, FDLE.
Yeah. Have you talked to them at all?
In the past, I've sent my reports that I've sent to the police here to the FDLE. Actually, they have more reports on me because I trust them more than the police department.
That's what I would, those records and stuff that you have, they're really the ones for law enforcement misconduct. That's who you need to be contacted.
But they won't contact me back. They never contact me back.
Okay.
And then also for if I try to apply for victims, the funding, if I want to get counseling or relocate, if you guys strictly go by the report though, there'll be nothing. So the sheriff's department, FDLE, has never responded back. And I have snapshots. I have multiple enforcement, blue wall signs perhaps, I don't know. So
Right.
if I cannot share though, is there any way that if I share the link, you guys can actually just look at it with my case, and I can share the file with the police officer, even if it's not for an investigation for misconduct, just to show that I went and that I do have a case. Because if you base it on that, I won't get victims compensation. But if you see my evidence that I have, and I don't even want to make it about, a complaint. I don't want to file a complaint on police. I just want to be able to present that I have gone to police and that they didn't put what I shared on paper.
Yeah.
Because without that, if I go to the FDLE and make a big fuss of it, then what can happen is that I can probably anger some people in the community, and I'll probably get ran out of there.
Well, with that, the FDLE's in Tallahassee, so they're not. They are in charge of the entire state.
Yeah.
So, like I said, our office doesn't really if there's an investigation or misconduct for a law enforcement agency, it's really FDLE. We really don't have any ability to investigate that.
So if the victim is being harassed, will the victim, do they have to actually go through the FDLE, or can they go through a victims advocate organization to see about getting help?
So So the sheriff's office, I do believe, has a general victims advocate.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you talked to them, but that's someone that we're not investigating analysis.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, we just law enforcement will collect evidence for us. They will use the evidence, make a determination. They'll go out there and file a warrant, make an arrest, and then we get the case after the arrest and prosecute it in the court system.
Session.
To get,
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.